Hello boys and girls, Year 9 Science 1 and Science 2. I hope you guys doing well during this pandemic, during this online lesson. Okay, I've decided to make a video lesson because during the live meeting, I've encountered lagging, bad connection. We don't know when the connection is going to be bad or good, and I don't want you to guys listen to my cracked voice, robot voice, or lagging screen. Okay, I don't want that to happen, so I've decided to record a video lessons for you guys. Okay, but you must follow a certain rules. Okay, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. So first thing first, you must watch the video or every video lesson that I'm gonna send to you during my lesson only. Okay, so my lesson is on Monday and Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30. So it's only 1 hour each lesson. Okay, so I promise the video is not gonna be 1 hour long. It must be less. And what you're gonna do is during that lesson, you must watch and you must copy down into your notebook. Okay, so you copy down into your notebook the questions. You can always pause the video and copy the questions, and you can actually fast forward if you already know, if you are confident enough. Okay, not that you already know but you actually don't know. You can fast forward, or you can times 2 the speed, or you can slow down and replay. It's up to your learning. It's after all, you guys already grown up. Okay, you know what is learning pace already. You follow your own pace. Okay, you copy down every examples and my explanation. I'll explain it. I try to explain it clear to you. But if you have any question, you can always message me through Teams or WhatsApp. Okay, so by the end of the lesson, I will give you a task and assignment, and what you're gonna do is you do during that lesson. Okay, and then you're gonna hand in to me. You take picture and hand in to me through Teams. Okay, through Teams. So I don't expect you to watch this the video that I'm gonna send to you every lesson the next day or the next 2 days. Okay, if you're planning to watch the video late, you must message me with reason. With reason. Okay, so I hope you follow. You can follow my lesson, so you don't accumulate all your lesson and watch in one go. Okay, it is very tiring. So every lesson, okay, Monday, Wednesday, you watch, you copy. Okay, so that's the rules that you must remember. Okay, so I'm watching you. Yeah, so we may start our lesson. So you guys already learned 7.1 and 7.2. So now we're going to 7.3. Okay. Okay, look back at your formula. You have learned distance, midpoint. Okay, so now the third one will be gradient. Okay, gradient, which is on 7.3. Remember to write down the formula on the first page of your chapter 7 coordinate geometry in your notebook. Okay, so 7.3 gradient, you write down the formula. So gradient is m small letter. It represented as m. Okay, it represented as small letter m. Okay, which is also equals to y2 minus y1. Basically, y2 minus y1 is the changes of y, or the difference of y, and x2 minus x1 is the changes of x, or you can say the difference of x. Okay, so before we go into the formula, let's understand what is gradient. Okay, so gradient, another word for gradient is slope. Okay, it's slope, and also can be called as steepness. Okay, it means that you are measuring a line, and we need to know how steep the line is, so we need to measure. But how do we measure? We measure using this. Okay, gradient. Okay, let me make you understand what this steepness means again. Okay, let's say you have a first line. This is your line A. Okay, so this line A and this line B, which one is steeper? Okay, which one is steeper? B is steeper. Okay, if you want to know how steep, okay, what does it mean by steep? Okay, you imagine that you are cycling. You are cycling. This is my bicycle. Okay, so let's say you are cycling here. Okay, going up the hill. This is going uphill. Uphill. Compared to the other line, okay, is my bicycle cute? Hehe. Okay, so compare with these two lines. Both are going uphill, okay? Both are going uphill. But then you will find out that this line B, when you go up the hill, you need to push a little bit more. Push a little bit more. Okay? This line you push maybe not that hard, but for line B, you need to push a little bit harder. So it means that it's steeper than A. Okay? The line is steeper than your A. So in terms of gradient, when you want to measure, this gradient definitely will be more than the gradient of A, okay? So the gradient, okay, Emma, the gradient of this line A, definitely it will be bigger than your gradient, gradient B is more than your gradient A because gradient B is steeper. Okay, imagine the third line C. Oh my gosh, this is even steeper. Okay, you still can push your pedal and go up the hill, still can, but it's even harder. Okay, it's even harder, right? So this gradient of C is definitely higher than A and B. Okay, so meaning to say that if the line is steeper, the gradient will be more. Okay, I'll give you an example later on using the coordinate. Okay, and what if your line is this, line D? Okay, so imagine you are cycling down. This one is downhill. Always cycling from left to right, okay? So if you're cycling down the hill, do you even need to push? You don't need to push. You don't need to push your pedal. You can release it and whee, going down the hill, right? So this gradient is negative. This gradient is now negative. Okay, and how about E? E is definitely steeper than E. E is steeper than D. Okay, if it's steeper than D, the negative will be even more. It will be even more negative. Okay, so remember that if you're going uphill, the gradient is positive. Okay, gradient positive is going uphill. If going downhill, the gradient will be negative. Okay, you might need to write this down. So remember, if you're gonna push P, okay, it's positive. You push the pedal, it's positive gradient. But if you're not pushing, you are releasing down the hill is negative. Okay, you just remember, if you push means P is a positive gradient going uphill, and going downhill is negative gradient. Okay, what if you have a line F? Look at line F. It's a horizontal. It's a horizontal line. Okay, if it's a horizontal line, when you cycle, you don't have any problem at all. Okay, you can cycle this very, very smooth. Right? You don't need to even push harder. So at this point, your gradient is equals to 0. Okay, your gradient is 0 for horizontal line. Okay, how about this? I don't even need to draw the bicycle anymore, right? Because you can't even ride a bicycle in a vertical line. So for vertical line, your gradient is definitely, it's not 0. Remember, 0 is horizontal line. If vertical line, your gradient is undefined. Okay, you cannot even ride the bicycle, cycle the bicycle upwards like this, right? Okay, so remember these few points. Gradient. So this one, you copy down. Remember these few things. Okay, about gradient. Okay, so when I ask you what is gradient, okay, gradient is the steepness, or how steep the line is. We're gonna measure how steep the line is. Okay, in terms of comparison, I've explained to you about the gradient. But if we want to measure, how are we going to measure the gradient? Okay, if you compare all these A, B, C, D, if you notice that the horizontal and the vertical line that made up from this upward line, okay, this uphill line, it comes from this height and this horizontal length, okay, and this height with the horizontal length, and this one also the same. Okay, for this one definitely is also the same thing. When you measure, the only thing you can measure is the length of the vertical and also the length of the horizontal line. Okay, you don't measure the line of this steep line. Okay, for example, this length, it doesn't matter. The gradient, okay, the steepness of this line, of the black one, the straight line, this black one, and also if it's shorter, let's say if it's a shorter line, the steepness is the same, isn't it? If you cycle down like this and you cycle down like this, it's the same steepness. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's short or long, okay, as long as it's parallel or the steepness is the same. Okay, so when we measure, we don't measure the length of this length. Okay, we don't measure this length. What we measure is measure the horizontal and the vertical. Horizontal and vertical. Okay, I mean the vertical and horizontal. And the horizontal line and the vertical line. Okay, when we measure that way, okay, we can measure our gradient. That's how our formula for the gradient comes from. Okay, the changes of the y, which is also the changes of your vertical line, and also the changes of the x, which is your horizontal line. Okay, let's check out this. Okay guys, look at this graph. Okay, you focus on the line, the green line, and the slope, the value of the slope. Slope means gradient, okay, it's the same meaning. Okay, you look at the green line and also the number 0.5. Okay, you will notice that, okay, the green line, when I push up, okay, means it becomes steeper. When it becomes steeper, the slope is getting higher. You look at that, 1.8, 2, 2, and then 3 and 4. See how steep it is? The green line becomes steeper, right? Okay, so what if it's a vertical line? You see, it's a question mark, means it's undefined. Okay, it's undefined. And remember, when you have a slope that is the slope that is going uphill, it's positive. And what happens if it's negative? Okay, let's look at the other way here. This is downwards already. And you look at the gradient, okay, the slope, the value of the slope. This is negative 0.3. So it becomes more negative when the line becomes steeper. Okay, it becomes steeper in the case negative 2. It becomes steeper and steeper with more negative. Okay, remember, if your line is like this, going uphill is positive. If going downhill is a negative. Okay? And if it's a line that is straight like this, is a vertical line, undefined. If your line it's like this, okay, it's a horizontal line, so the gradient is 0. Okay? And how do we measure? Okay, we measure by, now you focus, just now you focus on the green and the value of the slope. Then now you focus on the red and the blue. Okay, so the red one now here is 3. This red one represent the length or the changes in y. Okay, changes in y. Okay, you see this 3 units of the red. Okay, meaning to say that that is your y2 minus y1. Okay, your y2 of your coordinate 6, 6, you see that the y2 6, and your y1 is 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3, or when you count the number of boxes is 3. And you look at the blue one there is 4, means 4 units horizontal. Okay, this is how you measure the steepness of the line. Okay, how about if it's negative? Okay, let's look at the negative. Okay, let's look at the negative this way. Okay, look at the red one. Okay, the red one is 2 units and the blue one is 6 units. And with the negative, why is it negative? Because the line is actually going downwards. Okay, it's going downhill, so it's a negative here. Okay, so the slope or the gradient is in negative form. Okay, so meaning to say that your gradient, to measure a gradient, you need to find the changes of y, okay, or the length of the y and the length of the x, okay, or the changes of the x. Okay, what if, okay, my length like this. Okay, your triangle become bigger and the slope is, let's say it's 6, negative 0.6. Okay, negative 0.6. Okay, so it's roughly negative 0.6. What if my point is down here? It's also negative 0.6. Okay, it's the same line as the one that I showed to you just now, but the triangle that is formed is different. Okay, the bigger one, the smaller one, so it's actually the same as long as it's the line are on the same, I mean the line is the same. Okay, it's the same line, no matter it's short or long, the gradient is still the same, it doesn't affect. Okay, let's go back to this example 7. So to find the gradient, we use the formula. So our A is x1 and our for the 2, and for the 1 is y1, and for B is x2, y2. If you want to make A as x2, y2 and B as x1, y1, also okay. Okay, so the formula for the gradient, you must write m, small letter, with the AB represent is the gradient of AB. Okay, don't just write m, because if you write m, we don't know which line you are representing. Okay, so this one, x1, y1, yx2, y2, so we use y2, which is 5 minus 1 over 4 minus 2, and it's equals to 4 over 2 and equals to 2. So the gradient is 2. Okay, so if we have 2, 1 and 4, 5 here, 2, 1 and 4, 5, we will have a line this going uphill. So it's a going uphill, it's a positive, and the changes of your y is here, 4 units, and your changes of your x is 2. That's why we have 4 over 2, you see? 4 over 2, which is equals to 2. So the steepness of this line is 2. Okay? It's not necessary for you to draw this graph into your notebook, but if you want to draw it out to make sure that you understand, go ahead. Okay, let's look at B. So your E, your x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so your gradient is for your E, F, okay, M and EF. The gradient of your line EF is 6 minus 3 and negative 1 minus 1. Okay, so you will get a 3 over negative 2. Okay, so the gradient is negative 1.2. Okay, so let's look at graph here. If you have a 1, 3, okay, I'm gonna erase this. You have 1, 3 here, and you have a negative 1, 6. So your line is actually going down, right? Going down, that's why your gradient is negative. And again, the gradient is, to measure a gradient, you must have a vertical line and a horizontal line. And this vertical line is 3 and your horizontal line is 2 units. So you have a 3 over 2. Okay, so the steepness is equals to negative 3 over 2. Look at this. It's the same, right? Okay, so let's look at C. x1, y1, x2, y2. And your gradient for PQ is 2 minus 2 over negative 4 minus 3. Okay, or actually you can do this way. 2 minus 2 over 3 minus negative 4 is the same. Okay, so this case you get 0 over negative 7, which is also 0. And this one is 0 over 7, which is also 0. There's no negative 0, by the way. Okay, as I say, you can use x1 minus x2 over y1 minus y2. Okay, as long as if you choose x1 to minus x2, then your y1 must be minus y2, not the other way around. Okay, not the other way around as in x1 minus x2 and y2 minus y1. Cannot like that. Okay, so the gradient is 0. Okay, in terms of graph, negative 4, 2 is here and 3, 2 is here. So when you have a line, it's a horizontal line. Remember, when you have a horizontal line, the gradient is 0. Okay, the gradient is 0. Okay, and for D, x1, y1, x2, y2. So gradient of mn, 4 minus negative 2, 3 minus 3, which is equals to 6 over 0. 6 over 0 is not 0, yeah? You can press calculator and you will get a math error. So it's undefined. Why is it undefined? If you look at this, you have 3, negative 2 and 3, 4. And the straight line here is a vertical. So remember, you cannot ride a bicycle like this, right? In a vertical line. So this one, the gradient is undefined. Okay, so we have 4 types of line. The one that is going uphill, the one that is going uphill, the one that is going downhill, and the one that is horizontal line, and the one that is undefined. Okay, so I hope you understand how the gradient works. Now look at example 8. Okay, so the gradient of the line joining, this one will be your x1, y1, and 4, negative 2, x2, y2 is negative 4 over 3. So this is your gradient. So now here, this question is, we are given gradient and we want to find our p. So same thing, we will have an algebra here. Okay, so negative 2 minus p over 4 minus negative 2 become plus 2 equals to negative 4 over 3. Okay, so here what we do is we can cross multiply. 3 I times with this, and this 4 plus 2 I can times with a negative 4. Okay, this negative here, it can be belongs to 4 or 3, not for both of them together. Okay, so negative 2 minus p times with 3 equals to negative 4 times with 6. This 6 comes from 4 plus 2. So this one expand. Okay, so the answer is p equals to 6. Okay, so the answer for the p is 6. That's for example 8. So now I want to go to question number 3, exercise 7.3, page 152. Okay, question number 3. Okay, you copy the question and I'll explain to you this part. Given that the points Okay, we have 3 points here, and they are collinear. Okay, what is collinear? Collinear means they lie on the same straight line. Okay, collinear means they're on the same straight line. Basically, these 3 points are on the same line. Okay, so if these 3 lines fall on the same line, okay, if they fall on the same line, okay, let's say this one, if they fall on the same line, if 3 points fall on the same line means you have 1 point here, another point here, another point here, means that the gradient is the same. Okay, the gradient is the same because on the same line, the steepness is the same, the slope is the same, so the gradient is also the same. Okay, so both of the, all the gradient will be the same. So the gradient of this point with this point, or the gradient this point and this point, or even this point and this point, all the same gradient because same line. Okay, so what we do now is, okay, we can use this gradient equals to this gradient, okay, because we want to find t, right? So we will form an algebra here. So the gradient for this m, the first one, this one, 2 minus negative 1 over 2 minus 1. Okay, I'm using this and this. Okay, the second point with the first point. So, which is also equals to, okay, the third point, we have x3, y3. By the way, we can use y3 minus y2 over x3 minus x2 as long as it's the changes of y over changes of x. So this one will become t minus 2 over 4 minus 2. T minus 2 over 4 minus 2. Okay, so we form an algebra here and we can find our t, which is 8. Okay, so our value of t is 8. Okay, so your task, okay, I am gonna end here. Your task is to do question 5. Okay, question 5, question 1. Okay, I think it should be fine for 1 and 5. Okay, so today homework will be page 152. Question number, this is exercise 7.3, question number 1 and 5. Okay, that's all. And if you find my bicycle is very cute, I can teach you how to draw a bicycle here. It's from 2 circles, 1 equilateral triangle and another equilateral triangle here, and 1 line here and another line here, and then the seats, the pedal, the handle, ta-da! Okay, so if you want to draw this bicycle and tag me along and show me, we are welcome to do so. It's just extra, something extra only, yeah? It's not your homework, by the way. Alright, that's all for me today. From me today. Okay, see you guys again. Bye.